Hey everybody, I want to thank you guys for coming to see my History 218 Project 3 video on the War on Terrorism. I chose the War on Terrorism topic because it's one I closely related to with and resonated the most with. So to dive in, to define terrorism is the acts of violence predominantly against the civilian population for either a political purpose and or an ideological cause. It's usually defined subjectively, and a common phrase coming out of it is one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. Some of the more predominantly known terrorist organizations we know today are the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, which was formerly ran by Osama bin Laden. Now, the war on terrorism was sparked with the 9/11 attacks, and the 9/11 attacks gave America emphasis on America fighting terrorism globally. And America's main mission going into Afghanistan was to eliminate Taliban from positions of power. Now, I wanted to quote President George W. Bush at his post 9/11 speech at the World Congress Center in Atlanta. He said, "The enemy tries to hide behind a peaceful faith, but those who celebrate the murder of innocent men, women, and children have no religion, no conscience, and have no mercy. We wage war to save civilization itself. We did not seek it, but we must fight it, and we will prevail." Now, this part of the speech really stuck out to me because I saw it as a strong platform for patriotism. And as we know, post 9/11, patriotism across America was at all-time high, and almost as high as it was during World War II. Now, to go into the mission I was talking about earlier, I'll be focusing on Leroy A. Petrie, a Medal of Honor recipient. Leroy A. Petrie was a staff sergeant at the time, and it was awarded for his actions in the Paktia province of Afghanistan on 26 May 2008. He was a weapons squad leader for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. At the time, him and another ranger were moving across a courtyard to eliminate high-valued combatants in the area. As they were moving, Staff Sergeant Petrie was struck in both legs, and him and the other ranger moved to cover and attempted to give suppressing fire against the enemy. As a third ranger was moving to their location, a grenade had gone off, injuring the two other rangers that were with Petrie. Now, as Petrie's trying to call up to his command that he needs assistance, another grenade had gone over and was roughly 10 meters from him and the two other rangers were at. So without hesitation, he grabbed it and threw it as hard as he could, but as soon as the grenade left his hand was gone. So when he brought his hand back and was in shock, he brought himself back together, threw on a tourniquet, and continued giving out distance and direction and calling up for medical assistance to help the two guys that were wounded. For his actions against the Taliban Al-Qaeda enemies that he was doing a raid against, he was awarded the Medal of Honor by President Obama on 12 July 2011. Now, I chose to speak about Staff Sergeant Petrie and his actions in Afghanistan because him and his unit were direct action forces against terrorist organizations in the Middle East. I also have a more personal relation to this story. My dad is a retired special operations medic and was attached to Staff Sergeant Petrie's unit at the time. He wasn't one of the rangers who were with him when the grenade went off, but he was one of the medics that was assisting him and getting him out of the area. I wanted to thank you guys for coming. Hope you have a good night. Thanks.